St. Martinville District has 1,865 students, which gives them an allocation of $792,706. And Parks, Catalina, Stevensville has 918 students, giving them an allocation of $390,190. Again, that leaves $750,000 that can be allocated out to the districts at a future date. Again, just holding that in reserve for emergency or unforeseen event.
Any discussion?
Motion to accept.
Stand there.
Yeah, just the 750, can we allocate that per student also? I know it's on, and with the understanding that if a building such as this, you come back to the board and go from, you follow what I'm saying? Just so the dollars follow the kids is what I'm trying to do.
Yeah, I'm okay with that as long as Casey is. We can leave it in reserve,
Yeah.
but have a breakdown how it would be allocated in the future based on the same dollar amount per child here.
Now, would you know, okay, I know it's gonna come up at a later date, is the money that was supposed to be paid back to the brokerage, St. Martinville, and the three other districts besides the brokerage. Some of the board members questioned me that they thought that maybe some of the money would have come back from this also. Did you have any understanding? Does any other board member feel that way? Like y'all were us in the same way? I didn't get a chance to I talked to Steve today, and we spoke a little bit about it, and he said,
I didn't discuss.
you didn't discuss it? Because you want to be fair to everybody, but yet you don't want to take everything away from brokerage at the same time also, is what I'm getting at. Because I looked at the contingency fund, and I may be wrong, but it looked like brokerage only had like $433,000 in contingency. And it looked like that was for the whole district. So we don't want to be splitting up in those, the other three. You only get about 100,000. I know, right, and this is numbers just right off the top of my head. I think St. Martinville gave like over $600,000. The city gave over $800,000 to that brokerage junior high project. So, it's just a matter of how do you want to pay these areas back? That's my big question. Do you pay it back with this, or do you, because I don't think there's going to be enough in contingency from what it looked like.
I was operating off of what the board action was at the time, back in 2016, which was, the motion at the time read that if there was any contingency left in brokerage, it would go back to the other districts, or the other areas it was taken from. So, I was operating off of that. Now, I'll do whatever the board asks us to do. This is my suggestion, but again, the board.
I was just bringing it up, and it was just for conversation, just so everybody knew the dollar amounts that would divide it up, and if everybody's okay with it. Again, I'm 50-50. I mean, have brokerage and city, so it's good with whatever. But the only thing is, like I said, the 750, I'd like to allocate it per pupil. So yeah, it follows the student. Now, if we need to give like $50,000 to the instructional center for whatever reason, then we come back and say, okay, each district will take a little bit out of their area and go from there.
My plan is, and I've talked to a few board members, that a few people called to ask about this, so I explained what our vision is moving forward with this. What I wanted to do was deal with the interest and the bond premium money this month. I was going to come back next month with the contingency money from around the parish. The board a couple of months ago approved us using some of the ELC money, primary, Parks Middle, and JSEP contingency. So we did start spending that with board approval. But all of the other contingency funds have not been touched. So what I was going to come back next month and do is recommend to the board to move that into these dollar amounts. And then any parish-wide funding we had that we were certain of, move those amounts into here. Basically, what would be left is construction money that's in the 2016 bond budget.
And maybe we can look at that, maybe some of the construction money from brokerage junior high, that if any is left over, if it's $1, it's $1. If it's 100,000, maybe we can divide that up, and that would probably try to just pay back those other districts is all I'm, but at the same time, again, I don't want to hurt any district in particular. So I'm good with that, whatever, unless anybody else has any comments.
I made a motion to accept.
Oh, I have,
Oh,
Mr. McDowell?
oh, okay. The money for, this building right here, did we have some money left over or something?
Right, there's some parish-wide money left, like in the sprinklers from 2013. There's money left over in the account that was used to purchase the building in the front. I was gonna come back with those amounts next month. That's separating and allocating for parish-wide money. What I'm trying to do is do it in steps and in phases. This money right here, we're absolutely certain about it. It's in the bank. It's not included in any of the other budgets that we have. So I refer to it as clean money because you just don't have time to do it. We're meeting with Mr. Poche next week to close out some numbers and some budget. So I'm going to come back next month with the next installment of moving money into these amounts. And then the last remaining thing is going to be construction funds that are in the 2016 budget. And many of those projects have outstanding purchase orders. So I was going to give some time for some of those things to close out and clear themselves out, and then come back in a few months, and any remaining construction money, then allocate that according to however the board wants. I'll make recommendations, but again, however the board votes is how we do that.
So when you say outstanding purchase order, what are you talking about, like?
Well, you have 14 projects on the agenda right here that are, we're recommending substantial completion, but they're still in progress. You have the football field at City Grove Ridge High, and you haven't paid the final bill.
Okay.
So when the purchase orders, when all the bills are paid and the purchase orders are closed, then you don't have anything in motion anymore.
But that's still money that's in the bond that's gonna pay for that.
Right,
Okay.
right.
So,
But to determine an exact amount in that account, when you have a purchase order still open, sometimes it complicates it.
okay,
So if we allow them to close out and we pay all the bills, then it makes it easier to determine the exact amount of money. And we're not in a real hurry, to do that. If you want to spend money, you have money for the interest that you can do a little project with if you need. It gives time for those other things to close out.
okay. So this money right here, the interest, will be able to buy anything we want at the school. It's not like the bond, where you have to allocate it to the certain things that we said on the list.
I'm not so sure about that. I'll have to check with Mr. Schluter because it is interest that was generated from bond funds. So maybe Mr. Boyd,
We have to ask Frank.
You'll probably say it has to be capital.
Same thing applies.
Yeah, same.
we'll check with Mr. Schluter. What I plan on doing is, I've got a list from the principals. I've mentioned this before. Of what their wish list is. Mr. Delcom and Mr. Darcel, they have some things in maintenance that they would like to see taken care of. And I know board members have their own list. So what I was gonna do is, once school is open and the dust settles, maybe sometime in mid-October, start scheduling meetings with board members for the different areas. And then come up with a list. Use the principal list, maintenance list, and what you guys want. Come up with a master list by priority. And then you know how much money you have, and you have your list, and then you can start working our way down that list, doing projects.
The reason I was asking, because I didn't know if we could like buy technology stuff with it. Because it looked like we probably need more money for technology. And
With the CARES Act, we've been able to purchase a device with the full one-to-one from pre-K to 12.
okay,
With the CARES Act and the GEARS money coming in from China, so they're delayed, but we purchased it. And we've gotten money from those two funds also to assist with internet. And the route we've chosen to take, we're going to provide some Wi-Fi devices for people in extreme cases. And we're going to provide wireless internet where you can drive up to a school or different sites around the parish to be able to download work and upload it if necessary.
okay,
So, and there's money to do those things right now. So
okay.
I don't know that we're going to need a lot of bond money for that. Maybe in the future, but for this year, we
That's what I'm saying.
So how much is it gonna cost, like, to maintain those fields? The artificial turf? Don't we have to do that every so many
That's
years?
the school's responsibility. They ought to have a maintenance fund for that, their own individual.
But I'm saying, like, can we use some of that money
Just
from?
comment he made.
In terms of the daily maintenance of the fields, you know, the day-to-day maintenance, you know, running the sweeper over the field, that kind of stuff, there's not a lot of cost in doing that. When the fields were built, we purchased the sweeper for it, the groomer, is what it's called, and a golf cart that's battery powered for each stadium. So they have the basics that they need to maintain their field. 10 years from now, when the field needs to be replaced, then
So how much does that cost about to replace it? Because we have to put money on the side to.
in today's dollars, when we did the field, and Mr. Poche, jump in if I'm wrong, but to replace the carpet on the field, I call it the carpet, the turf part, I'm talking 100 to 150,000.
Dave's here.
So maybe Dave could,
Yes, we have to replace just the carpet. We're doing that right. We have to replace the shop pads and.
Shock pads supposed to outlast the turf, right?
So how long has St. Martinville been having theirs? I'm trying to remember. Is it what?
theirs is
17?
about 6 years old.
Okay, 6 years old?
They
So
stopped-
we can put some money from that, maybe, on the side part?
And that'll be when they meet by district, I mean, that'll be a decision if St. Martinville District wants to put a little bit aside for that. That'll be up to the board members from St. Martinville, and then ultimately, the board will have to vote on whether each district wants to do that.
Anything else? I'd like to make a motion to postpone, this item until next month. So we can see what kind of money we have in the contingency fund. And know how much we can get. It's to say, put a lot of money in at the junior high, okay? I think it's like $800,000. Mark, like 800?
The parish put, oh, you're talking about just this year? Yeah, it was,
Yeah.
it was a little over 800.
I don't say, why we put up how much?
Over 600.
Huh?
Yeah, it was over
600,
600.
huh?
At least.
Yeah, so, I mean, the $800,000 would be,
That was just,
to see.
that was just in this bond, and the 13 bond, we moved some money out there also. So,
But don't we know what the contingency is already?
I looked at it as part of the house, and on the paper I had, it had 433,000 for the brokerage share.
Contingency,
It should-
in front of you, you know.
It should move, yeah, that dollar amount stayed the same,
Right,
Oh,
with
Mr.
the exception of
Gordon,
those that weren't.
Mr. Jim, would you know what the contingency is for each school?
Which one? Oh,
Huh?
yeah, I was gonna, 16. For what? The one that was given to,
But this is not contingency.
that's a 2016 bond.
No, what he's probably trying to do is probably combine the interest and the contingencies to get kind of close on repaying the,
Brokerage district contingency is 433,000. You're pretty close. That's, you want it, was that?
yeah, that's what,
Well, yeah.
How much,
you don't remember how much we gave each, allocated from each district? It was allocation from each district, do you remember that number? I didn't look into that.
All right, it's with me right now, it's probably somewhere around 2 million total.
About 800,000.
But you, Mark, weren't you saying we were gonna spend money each area from brokerage?
That's
There was a total of 4,
4 million, right?
and it could be somewhere between 2 and 3 came from the districts, and about $1 million came from parish-wide. Because the parish-wide funds were about 25% of the total fund issue. And I think that the total number that the school got was a $4 million stuff
From the city and,
from the,
they went to.
probably about 3 million from the districts. So we divide it up on a per pupil basis to see a little bit higher than others.
So I make a motion to postpone till next.
A substitute motion? You want to make a substitute motion? That we postpone?
I'll second it.
Okay. Mr. Stanley, and a second by Mr. Abear. Let's go.
Vote yes.
Mr. Nutt, yes.
Yes.
Mr. Steve, yes.
You got to press to put it on. Press the little red button on, lower left.
So, it's just not pressing.
You know, how Mr. Fusilier vote?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, Mr.
Mr.
Dodd?
Knight.
Pass.
Okay. Do we, it passes, or do we need to?
Pass.
Pass. Motion passed. Item 2B, consider and or recommend action with regard to accepting electronic payments from students. Mr. Russo.
Our current host for our internet, for our website, offers a platform to be able to accept online payments from parents. So we're recommending allowing that. The only fee, so other companies, you have to pay a fee to the company that does the processing, plus you have to pay the credit card processing fee. This one, there's no fee for us to do it, there's only the credit card processing fee, which is gonna be anywhere to go. So we're recommending going with the company that's currently hosting our website. And my recommendation, because it's a common thing now, is that you pass on the credit card fee to the person using the credit card, and then that way the school does not absorb any fees for allowing electronic payments. And I think it's beneficial for several reasons, because that's the way a lot of things are done now. It's convenient. You're not sending money with kids. You're not risking money being stolen by exchanging cash at the schools. I think it would be more efficient for the secretaries because they'll do batch posting versus individual transactions taken out of school.
I have a question. What if a child doesn't have access to a credit card? Or is that what we're doing? We're giving them?
Which means
The
it's for the parent to pay fees.
But if the parent doesn't have a credit card?
Oh, we would still take payments like we do now. This would just be an additional service, additional offering to the parents.
Okay, motion to accept.
Second.
I have a motion by Mr. Abear, second by Mr. Cochi. Let's go.
Like the old school lady that does.
Yes. Yes.
Motion passed.
Mr. Fusilier is yes, Mr. Knott is yes.
Item 2C, discussion of the budget. Ms. Russo.
Before the meeting, I passed out an updated version of the budget from last week. One of the major items is the virtual program for the lower grades. We have to pay per seat, and we currently have 1,200 kids enrolled. And so that significantly increased the cost for virtual program. For the program.
That's the 585,000?
Yes. Now, we do have Kelly has it set up that they have a 2-week grace period. So after 2 weeks, if they choose to unenroll in virtual and come back, we don't have to pay for that seat, but I mean, we need to go ahead and budget for it because that's how many kids we have enrolled, and we need to assume that they're gonna stay there.
Did the school system pay for that? No. Okay. Any discussion?
Motion to accept. Second.
I have a motion by Mr. Forte.
Just a discussion.
Yeah, and we'll formally adopt it. I know it's over meeting, but I just wanted to put it out there. That way if you had any questions or wanted me to further clarify any details or
That might just come out of NFP or.
things like.
Anybody else?
And what you paying for?
The virtual, so the students are signing up to do virtual instead of coming in person. For the upper grades, I guess 6 through 12, we pay one price regardless of the number of kids that we have enrolled. But for pre-K or K to 5, we have to pay per student to have the virtual program for them. And so we currently have 1,200 students enrolled in that virtual program, so we're having to pay $500 per student, so that it's driving up that
Oh, that's the
cost.
higher grades? Is the
That's
high-
the lower grade.
Okay, what's the higher grade?
The higher grade, we paid $101,000, and that covers as many licenses as
Okay.
we,
And that's money you don't get back if you decide to go to school.
not for the upper grade. The lower grades, if after 2 weeks they decide not to stay in the virtual program, we don't have to pay for their C license. So it's
So what if you have a child that's like a 504, 1508 student that we know they really can't do virtual, but the parent puts them on there?
that.
And they want to go,
That's an SBLC decision by the school.
Ms. Kelly, I didn't even realize you were sitting there, I'm sorry.
We will have virtual facilitators or slash teachers at each school to help with the overflow, because normally we run around 300 kids in virtual.
okay,
Right now, we have about 2,800 enrolled. Okay, so we're gonna have to have people at the schools to help us, and there'll be less children in your classroom, because all these parents and children are requesting to go virtual. So the virtual facilitator or teacher assigned to that child will be able to provide them video tutoring through Google Meet or Zoom. They'll be able to tutor them that way, and we'll assist them that way. We can also give them their modifications for 504 and 1508, some of the modifications that are available through the platform. But Ms. Jordan's team of teachers will also, the SPED teachers will also be reaching out to those children. And in the cases where the kids are self-contained, they're gonna be using unique learning, which is what they use in their classroom normally. So that's not an extra cost, that's normally what they use, so there's a way to do that virtually with those children.
so let's say my child is working on virtual, he's still 1508 student, and he's just making F, what happens?
You can call the teacher, and the teacher will tutor him over the Google video conference. The teacher will also assist you if you're having trouble maneuvering around the platform. Okay, they can do that as many times a day as they need to. Our teachers are gonna open up the Google Meet at 8 o'clock in the morning and keep it open so kids can jump on anytime they need assistance. We also will have our facilitators open in the evening, 7 o'clock, Monday through Thursday, where they can call in the evenings at the virtual center, and somebody will jump on the Google Meet with them there, and tutor with them there. When we can bring the children back into the system, and they can visit, and we have all our safety precautions in place, then we'll allow them to come in for individual tutoring one-on-one, but we have to make sure it's a safe environment, everything's clean after each child comes in and out. But
Okay,
they'll do it through video conferencing.
so let's say a regular student has English, math, and science, and I want to do all my science first. I can go ahead and do all of that first. And
Technically, yes, but we don't normally recommend that. What we recommend is that the children work an hour a day on each subject to stay on pace for each course. We don't want them to fall behind. We also or their first set classes, then they end up saying, oh, that's easy, and then they can't finish it in time. So with Edgenuity, our kids cover the entire book. Okay, so it's not like in a classroom if they miss, if we have to miss for hurricane and the teacher can't get to it, she tries to get to it all, but she may not get to the last chapter. In Edgenuity, they're assigned the whole thing and they have to finish it no matter what. So the kids have to work extra. So we work really hard to make sure that they don't fall behind. We make phone calls, we email, and we video chat with them starting this year. This is the first year we'll do the video chat and video conferencing with parents and children.
So you can tell if the child is working?
Yes, ma'am, yes, ma'am. They can look at their dashboard and see that I logged on at 8 o'clock and I worked and did 3 lessons till 8:30. And at 8:30, I walked away from my computer and left it open and did nothing. It's called idle time. Parents will also get a weekly progress report emailed to them directly from the Edgenuity platform. That will tell them the children's progress so far on every course.
Are we trying to educate the parents how to get on?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I've sent 2 videos home to the parents. I've emailed the parents those videos, the orientation videos on what the platform looks like and how to work it. And then once we start school, each facilitator will call home and walk the parents through.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, you have a comment?
Yes. Dr. Dalcourt says the RTI process for the school will still be in place. Schools will be monitoring and providing support for the students requiring support. We will need to follow the pupil progression plan. Students will need to earn 1 grade per week in each content area.
Okay. I have a motion by Mr. Cochi, and a second by Mr. Dillon. Let's vote.
Yes.
Motion passed. Item 3A, consider and/or recommend action with regard to change order proposal relative to request for 105 days related to COVID delays for early learning center, EMS control replacement project. Mr. Poche?
This is the contractor request for some extension due to COVID and some other issues that came up during construction that they weren't able to finish their work until the project was finished. Something that's done to tell them the job. We recommend accepting. And it is about finished with.
When will it be complete?
I think this month.
Okay. Any discussion? I have a motion.
Motion.
Motion by Ms. Vitale, second by Ms. Johnson. Let's vote.
Yes.
Yes.
Mr. Fusilier, yes.
Motion passed. Item 3B, consider and/or recommend action with regard to awarding notice of acceptance for beneficial use prior to substantial completion. If authorized by the board president, superintendent, principal, architect, and project manager for the park's primary parking / canopy updates. Acadian renovation and substantial completion will be present at the next board meeting. Mrs. Poche?
The completion date of the job was always the 10th. I think Adam felt with the intention of working along right now, he would rather have reached that date and not have a huge punch just by doing it earlier. So by the time the board agenda went out, we had to have it out the last Monday. There wasn't enough time to punch it out because they were recommending completion. So Adam will make an inspection on the date. We anticipate being able to do substantial completion and turn it over right away, and we'll give you the details of it at the next board.
I'll say.
Ms. Vitale, I have a motion by Ms. Vitale, second by Mr. Abear. Let's vote.
Yes.
Mr. Fusilier, yes.
Motion passed. Item 3C, consider and/or recommend action with regard to awarding substantial completion for the following. Brooklyn Elementary bus canopy, Brooklyn Junior High miscellaneous site renovations, CP multi-purpose building. Number 4, ELC dining new floor. St. Martin primary dining new flooring. St. Martin High School rear drive. Parks Middle Lumber Company. Parks Primary Due Delivery Drive. Parks Primary Parking Canopy Upgrades. Parks Middle View Classroom Phase. Parks Middle Re-Roof Building. ELC, Parks Middle, Tim Martin Primary Abatement. SE Bus Canopy. And what was it in Parks you had addition?
Substantial completion for the portable building demolition.
Move to accept.
Second.
I have a motion by Mr. Abear to accept and a second by Ms. Vital. Let's vote.
Yes.
Yes.
I got a question for number two.
Delay, yes.
Motion passed.
I just want to know what.
I voted yes.
Miscellaneous site, what is that?
Mr. Knott, yes.
Jim? I got a question. Number two, what is that at Burbridge Junior High miscellaneous? What is that?
That did the renovation work on there. It's, we added a new parking lot at the junior high.
Yeah,
We added a new parking lot next to the gym. We added sidewalks, at the front of the school for the parent pickup. We did some fencing on the site, some drainage work on the site in front. And, the sidewalk was adjacent to the city street, and we did some patch on the blacktop after the sidewalk and tried it. So there was a lot of general, cleanup work that had to be during the summer months and couldn't be done during the school.
okay. Thank you.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, item 3D, consider and or recommend action with regard to any request to rain or project delay presented by staff. Presented by staff. We have one.
Didn't we have a request for some
There
data?
was one request that, was sent to Parks Middle, and with no information, didn't state how many days it was, and no backup, and the architect wasn't able to get anything in the meantime, so, just inadequate information to do it. We tried, we got a request a few days ago, couldn't get a response. So we don't really want to accept anything. If next month we come back and substantiate that, then we'll take action. But the contractors all know by now, it's all contractors that have been working here. They know every month we need it, the backup, and the days to show it. And I know the board doesn't want to accept it just because somebody said give you some days. They even tell us how many days they want.
I would recommend no action and do what Mr. Jim said. If they come back next month with a proposal, then we consider it. No action.
No action. 3E is bond program status report. Any comment for that?
That was just representing the attachment that's in your report, it has everything that's, under construction. There's nothing on the bid right now, it's a complete project, so, Andy also has a list of anything that is coming in, and the superintendent authorized $25,000. So if you have any questions, the details online.
Move to adjourn.
Second.
We have a motion by Mr. Abear, a second by Mr. Poteet to adjourn the meeting.
Any